Dale is in Detroit, Michigan. Dale, thank you very much for calling. I appreciate it.
Hey, Larry. Long-time listener, 11th-time caller, first time getting through her.
Well, welcome aboard, Dale. Dale, are you a native Detroiter?
I'm in the Detroit area. Yeah, I've lived in this area my whole life.
Your whole life.
Yep.
I have an aunt who lives in Detroit, and when I visited her in the 60s, I asked her if I could go and tour Motown, and she didn't realize they had a little tour. My favorite Motown singer, Dale, is Levi Stubbs. He's the lead singer of the Four Tops. So we're going through this little tour. Yeah. I'm like 10 years old, maybe 11 years old, and I see Levi Stubbs, and I'm just paralyzed. To this day, I wish I'd had the nerve just to walk up to him and just shake his hand or something, but I just sat there and looked at him for 35 seconds, and he vanished into the air.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those encounters, too, where I look back and wish I had.
Yep.
Hey, two quick questions.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about the demographics of the Trump voters as going up in every category except white males.
Right.
So my question is, does that mean that only white males got less racist over the last 4 years?
That's why the whole thing is so absurd, Dale. You're right. How do you explain that? If Donald Trump is sending a racist dog whistle to white males, how do you explain that his white male vote went down from 2016 to 2020? And how do you explain that his white male vote percentage was actually lower than Mitt Romney's was 4 years earlier? How do you explain that?
I can't. So, another quick question. About 3 months ago, you had it wasn't a guest; it was a caller, but you kept her on for like 2 segments. I think her name was Susan. She was a nurse, and you were going to have her on again. She talked about some COVID stuff.
Right.
Have you ever had her on again?
No, I
don't think you have. I listen to you every day.
No, we haven't, Dale. But I know who you mean, and we'll try and get on top of that. Dale, thank you very much for calling. I appreciate that. Dale called yesterday, and we told him we would make him lead off hitter for this show today. Dale, I really do appreciate it. I have really fond memories of Detroit. I went to law school outside of Detroit in Ann Arbor. That's about 45 minutes outside of Detroit, and that's where I told you that story about the time I visited my aunt. My aunt worked out of her home. She did taxes for people. And one day I'm talking to my aunt. I'm a first-year law student. I'm talking to my aunt about the classes I'm taking. The doorbell rings. It's a gentleman who's probably about maybe 35, 40 years old. And he sits down and pours himself a drink, and it turns out they're friends, and from time to time he'll drop by and have a drink with her. So she and I are continuing our conversation. We were talking about the courses I was taking. And then I look up, and this man is crying. I mean, not just little bitty misty thing. I mean, just bawling. And I thought I had said something offensive, although I couldn't imagine what it was. And I stopped and I said, "Excuse me, did I say something that bothered you?" He goes, No. I always wanted to be a lawyer. But I got caught up in a bunch of jackassery, and I threw my chances away. And I said something to the effect of, "Well, you're still young enough." He said, No, I've got responsibilities now. I can't do it. I just got caught up in a bunch of jackassery. And I'll tell you something. The reason I remember that is because he didn't blame anybody. He's a black man, by the way. Didn't blame the man. Didn't blame racism. He blamed himself. And that was in the 70s. What's the excuse now? What divides us is racism, nativism, and fear? No, what divides us are differences in policies and your assumption that if I differ with you, I'm fundamentally wrong-headed, I'm evil, I'm racist, I'm a sellout. I'm Larry Elder.